fucking last one of you!
What's up, Chucklefuck and Chucklehuck? This is the Zero-Time Award-winning podcast, Yolo Braintrust. We are live with Travis and Bobby and also Shaw. And I'm gonna have to see the VOD to see if Travis has fucked up the intro. I've always thought this is a really cool intro. Would be the start, beginning of Pulp Fiction, right where Honey Buns says, "If any of you motherfucker makes a move, I'm actually every single one of you." But I'm sure Travis fucked it up and got the timing wrong, because he's a fuck up.
No, I did it.
Anyway.
I did it right when you said to start.
All right. It's like giving instructions to a sheepdog. You know, you think it's gonna get it, but really it's hard. It's not that.
I would beg to differ.
I mean, it's not that hard. It's like I keep telling you what line to use.
No, and I say, hey, you're gonna have to do a countdown, so that way I know when to start.
Like you should know what the line is. There's two lines. There's a cue
yeah,
line.
but I'm not looking at it. I need the visual cue. You get the visual cue. I don't get the visual cue. All right.
There is no visual cue. It's an audio cue. When Tim Roth says his line, you hit start.
No, but by the time you hear that, it's too late. You see what I'm saying?
No, I don't see what you're saying.
Because I'm doing this all on the same monitor, so I'd have to.
But there shouldn't be a delay for you. It's audio. The audio shouldn't be delayed.
No, but by the time he says it, I need to do it before he says it, or else it's not going to show up on the stream. You see what I'm saying?
I don't know, man.
Hey, what can I say? I'm doing a bunch of tech wizardry behind the scenes here.
Yeah, more like tech, fucking dumb. Whatever wizardry but dumb is.
I already got the name of the clip. You can name the clip "Two Retards Arguing Over How to Start a Podcast."
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Welcome everyone to the Yolo Braintrust podcast. You guys want to introduce yourself while I get the tag set up on?
We already did. We already fucking did. I said it was Travis, Bobby, and Scott.
Well, maybe you forgot about Shaw. Shaw, how are you doing? Tell us about yourself.
Scott Shaw, how's it going?
How's it going, everyone? My name is Scott. I'm from Scarsdale, Arizona.
Scarsdale.
Just happy to be here. Yep.
So is that based off Scottsdale, Arizona?
Yeah, I like to call it Scarsdale though.
So it's the same place, or is it a different town?
It's the same. It's the same place. It's the same place. No one's watching.
Well, I'm trying to set the mood here. You're calling into my show. This is your first time appearing as a guest. I want to get to know you. So what's life like down in
you know what I'd like to get to
Scarsdale, Arizona.
I'd like to get to know the inside of your wife. Are you gonna let that happen?
Well, joke's on you. I don't have a wife, sir.
Well, there we go. Huh?
Well,
I just made you look dumb all over the internet. Now look at everyone. All our viewers are gonna say like, "Ooh, look at it, the dummy."
You mean all our viewer?
Yeah.
No. Listen, when I get to turn this into a clip, I get to frame it however I want. I'm the one who gets to determine when it starts, where it ends, what we cut out, what we add.
Yeah, and you're gonna fucking do it a half a second off because the audio isn't synced up or whatever.
Wait, no, are you telling me it's not synced up or something right now? Is that supposed to be like some sort of reference to what we were just talking about? Because it's not funny if you're making a joke here.
You'll never know, dude.
Oh no, now I'm gonna have to play it on the stream, and if you're gonna
have
to... No, wait, there's no way it would be. There's nothing else going on.
Can we get to the actual meat and potatoes of it?
All right, the meat and potatoes of today's episode is Legend of Zelda:
Premarital
Ocarina
sex.
of Time.
Sex.
Alright, so full disclosure to all our viewer, I don't like Zelda. I think Zelda is stupid.
Why?
Why do I think it's
Clipping that.
Tell me why.
Another tape-pilled man-child.
No, I
can't
just
even
don't
come
like
up
it.
with one reason why he thinks that Legend of Zelda is quote-unquote stupid.
So
it's just stupid. I don't like it.
So
don't have a problem with
Well,
it.
because
Just
you're
don't
bad?
like it.
Sounds like a skill issue. Skill issue.
So let me tell you something. Last time, for anyone out there who doesn't know, me and Scott here in Scarsdale, Arizona, got into a bit of a spat where he was telling me I'm wasting my life by playing Legend of Zelda and that I should spend more time making money so I can spend it on who knows, because apparently video games don't count. Okay? And we put it out as a short. I gotta frame it however I like. I look like the good guy. He looks like the bad guy, as it was. And we got some comments. We got some comments coming in. Thank you for anyone who left a comment. And in those comments, they were saying, "What's the point of working if you can't spend it on the things you love?" This guy's sheltering. He's cocooning, in this idea of masculinity, whereas we out here are fleshed out, blood and bones, enjoying what we like. And let me tell you something, the entire demographic was 100% male and 100% in the age 25 to I think it was 34 demographic. So these are men.
Tate head.
These are real men. No, these are Zelda fans. What are you talking about?
No, but I mean, in terms of people that would normally like Andrew Tate, right? Like Andrew Tate's demographic, like these are the same type of people that would, and they're saying that Zelda good. All right?
No, there's no way that Andrew Tate is fans that are that old. I think like Scott here is like the
I think the
oldest
demographic
to get.
Geriatric
at,
Andrew
like,
Tate fan.
I think the Tate demographic ends at like 26, 27, realistically.
Yeah.
Because at that point you've got your life together.
Wait,
most
what was
likely.
what was the demo? I thought you said it was like 18 to 25 was the demo of the video.
No, it was I think it was like 25 to 34.
35,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Either way,
so,
either way. Here's my thing, right? Scott here says that you shouldn't spend money and you shouldn't that video games are a waste of time, all right? That they're useless, that they're a waste of time, right? But think about it. The best video we've done has been these Zelda videos and talking about Zelda.
Breaking into a new demographic.
I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to, the numbers don't lie, all right? We're gonna have to keep talking about Zelda.
there's something that someone told me once, and I won't reveal his name for the sake of privacy reasons. He told me that the bad guys always have the coolest stuff.
Yeah.
Transformers, for instance. Batman, Dark Knight Rises. The bad guys have the coolest stuff.
So are you trying to say that Legend of Zelda is cool? And
No,
it's
I'm trying
also
to
a
say
bad thing?
Legend of Zelda is dorky. You guys paint me out to be the bad guy, but that means I'll have the cool stuff. So while you have your little,
cooler than Legend of Zelda?
you'll have your little Nintendo Switch Lite with Legend of Zelda on it, and I'll
First of all,
have.
there's no such thing. Is it called the Nintendo Switch Lite?
Well, I mean, they're actually kinda. There's like the fully handheld version.
But is that called the Lite?
I don't know.
I want to be like, actually, technically.
I mean,
Actually,
could be.
No, ready? And then Travis is gonna look it up on Google, and it's gonna show up that there is a Nintendo Switch Lite, and then I'm gonna look like the good guy again, and then we can name that clip.
Okay,
Retard
let's do
gets
it.
owned by Sigma Male on what a Nintendo Switch Lite is.
Oh yeah, no, there is a Nintendo Switch.
It is called the Lite. It is called the Lite.
It's called the Light. Yeah,
Fuck.
he was right.
Go. There we go. Blue Pill, the bitch boy, gets owned by Sigma Red Pill on his own stupidity. There we
Sigma
go.
Red Pill knows the Nintendo Switch models better than the Blue Pill Soy Boy. Owned.
Sorry, I was too busy playing Zelda to care. Also, fuck you if you have a light. Like if you have a Switch Lite, they're shitty systems. They're so dumb.
That'd be the best way to end the clip right there. Also, fuck you if you have a light.
But all right, here's another fucking short that we can build. Here's my fucking opinion on the Nintendo Switch Lite. So, Nintendo Switch, the original Nintendo Switch concept is the fucking cool. You are getting just raped by these fucking
those
things.
rocks, yeah. By those
Jesus
crab rocks.
Christ!
I was hoping. No one noticed.
Can't continue. Can't continue.
Yeah, you're getting destroyed by those crab rocks, dude.
Here's my my opinion on the Nintendo Switch Lite.
Yeah.
So, it shouldn't exist. It's so dumb. It's like The thing that was so cool about the Nintendo Switch when it came out was that it was a full console that was portable. Now, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not as powerful as like a PS5 or an Xbox One or whatever, obviously. But it was more powerful than the Wii U, so it was like the most powerful Nintendo console. And it was a full console that was also handheld. But the Nintendo Switch Lite is only handheld. It's like basically like a glorified DS. And the other thing is like, so you can't use it on the TV, which is like objectively like where I use my Nintendo Switch kind of most of the time.
That's
Like,
you though. That's
yeah,
you though. That's not.
but like
if
the
someone literally
versatility-
only wants it for portability, then they're probably gonna want to go
But
with
then
the
you can
Lite.
still use the Nintendo Switch, right? Like it's still portable. Like there was a time where I would use it, like I was using it mostly portably, and now I'm using it most. But like the versatility is great. And the other thing is, okay, let's say you would never plug it into the TV. The fact that you can't remove the Joy-Cons is like pointless because now you lose control. You have to get like extra controllers. Like some of the cool stuff about the Nintendo Switch was like you had these Joy-Cons that like you could slide out and like have two controllers and or one controller and have more buttons on the controller. And it's like all these games that make use of the Joy-Con, you're fucked. Also, if Joy-Con drift, it's like rip. But I guess you have to buy a new system.
1 second. So, I mean, I think the main point, and I thought you were supposed to be a man of the people, Bobby. The main point of the Switch Lite is to make it accessible to people who otherwise wouldn't be able to get it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you
So
have to make some
basically-
sacrifices.
Basically, by you saying it sucks, you're just saying fuck poor people.
Yeah.
How much? Okay, well, what's the price difference
Blue-pilled
here?
soy boy beta
boy.
cuck says fuck poor people. I can't believe it.
Blue pill soy boy beta cuck.
What's the fucking price
Oh,
difference
shit.
here? A Nintendo Switch
hold on,
is
hold on.
$300.
Hold on.
Okay. Oh my god.
There we go. I had to get the gasp. All right, you can.
All right.
you
First
can
of all,
continue now.
a Nintendo Switch is $300, and a Nintendo Switch Lite is $200.
Yeah.
I think I paid $250 for my Switch, but that thing again that was several years ago. So
I could tell you how much I paid for mine.
if here's my thing, right? If you can't afford that extra $100, you probably shouldn't be buying a game console. Like, no offense, I know this is you hate poor people. Like, no, if you can't afford the extra $100 on a very much not a necessity. Like this is very much a purchase of opulence, right? This is a luxury good.
Leisure, yeah.
A leisure good.
expense,
Like
yeah.
if you can't expense one more $100 in today's economy, like with the value of $100 nowadays, like you probably shouldn't be buying it at all. Like you should be finding cheaper forms of leisure. Or get a used one, man. I mean, the Nintendo Switch has been out for years. You can get a used Switch for like $100.
Oh wow. I bought two things together. Yeah, it was $300 for mine. So
it's not like
I don't know
like
if
the
you
Switch
remember-
Lite is $50, right? It's not like the Switch Lite is $50 and the Nintendo Switch is $300. It's like
Yeah.
200 versus 300. It's not
it's 200.
It's 200.
No, I was just asking. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So I don't know if you remember back in like 2020, 2021 when there were all those product shortages. I mean, I bought my Switch in 2021. I had just been using my old roommate's Wii U, when we lived together. But, when I moved out, I didn't have access to it. And it happened to coincide with the shortage, and people are paying like upwards of like $400 or $500 for a Switch.
All right. First of all,
and that's when it came out. So I think at that point in time, it was a pretty good purchase.
Here's another point. Like especially for purchases like this, like where it's a discretionary purchase. It's not a necessity. It's a leisure good. Never buy over MSRP. Like, are you kidding me?
Well,
Like,
there was a shortage.
You can live. Yeah, but you can live without the Nintendo Switch. You can live the extra however many months, and if nobody buys it,
But if you're
over
locked in your
MSRP
house, and it was like, you gotta remember that period. There were like so many scalpers, and everyone was wondering, when is everything gonna return to normal?
Yeah, and you know what I did? I didn't buy a new computer. I needed a new computer. I didn't buy one. I just made do with my old crappy computer, and then I waited until I could get my graphics card and my computer at MSRP. Because
Well, here's the difference.
I wasn't going to do.
I mean, at least you had a computer. A Switch, you know, I guess maybe if you had a Wii U, but even then, that's kind of a different thing altogether, right?
Well, I mean,
you're
again, do you
Nintendo
need to
kind
play?
of locks
you
its
need
products.
to play it? Yeah, but like you can wait a couple years to play the games. It's not like you need
Well, these
to play
weren't
them
new games
immediately.
by the time this all happened either. I mean, Breath of the Wild had been out for 3 years.
Well, then yeah, then you can wait another couple of years. If you've already waited that long, you can wait even longer. And if it just came out, you can wait a little bit of time.
I don't know.
See, that's something like I completely agree with. Just like buying over MSRP, especially during the
insane.
pandemic, is insane. I think what it came down to was a lot of people just started getting a lot more money during the pandemic.
Well, this part of it, yeah, and there were a lot more
Yeah,
scalpers
so
in that period too.
people had more discretionary funds to buy things and to sell things.
Yeah.
And I think they should have held their grounds. I held my ground with it. I was like, I'm not spending over this MRP because there's a lot of
Neither did I.
scalpers. And the thing was, when people go into it, when people like, it's like tragedy of the commons, right? When people accept it and they're like, well, you know, if I don't buy from the scalper, somebody else will. Like everyone's doing it. It's like that doesn't make it, you know, acceptable. Like yeah, if everyone's doing it, like. If more people buy from scalpers, it will basically incentivize more scalpers.
So here's my thing. So like I really wanted the PS5 when it came out, right? That would be like the first time in my life that I would get a console within its release period. So like when I got a PS4, it had already been out for like 2 years.
Right.
When I got my PS4. So like the PS5 was a big deal for me because I finally had enough money as an adult person to be able to spend $500 on a game console.
When it came out.
When it came out, yes. So when it came out, remember people were reselling these things for like $800-900.
Yeah.
They would sell.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty easy at that time to sell it. But I wanted it. I thought it was cool. I wanted to play on it. So when I had the opportunity through PS Direct to buy it for MSRP, I bought it.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
I stuck it into the power and the HDMI, and I played it. I used it.
I'm not saying don't buy something when it comes out. I'm saying don't buy something when it comes out that's like for more money than it's supposed to be worth, and like don't buy from a scalper. Like you said, yeah, people were reselling them for $800 and like would immediately sell them. That's the problem. That people are buying from the scalpers. People shouldn't buy from scalpers. Like period. And when people buy from scalpers, it incentivizes more scalpers to exist, and that's a problem.
Well, I mean, I think you just went into a simple business class of supply and demand. The supply isn't there. The demand is high. The people who have the supply are going to make the money.
Yeah, and I think the demand shouldn't exist. I think, you know, obviously the price curve, you know, is high, but I think people should stick to their guns and say, you know what, I'm not going to overbuy. I'm not gonna, you know.
And now I think most of that pandemic stuff has subsided.
For sure, yeah.
I like to think that, but seeing the way the economy is right now, I can see how it is and it's not.
Well, the way I've heard it explained in a lot of different respects is that everything became a lot more tilted towards labor over the course of the pandemic, and especially as things started to open up again. Because people had a lot of extra money through unemployment, through the stimulus checks. It was harder to find employees, and so employees had more negotiational leverage without unions. And our economy just wasn't ready for it because we've never cared, at least not since like the 80s. And so there was no backstop to handle this sort of thing, and now it's all falling apart because America is unwilling to create a system that makes compromises towards labor.
Hold up. We got a guy trying to play Switch with you, Mr. Binkles. What's going on, buddy?
All right.
What was a guy named Mr. Binkles? What's going on? Where are you looking?
Hold on.
YouTube chat.
Hold on.
YouTube chat. I'm not on YouTube. I'm on
He's
Twitch.
asking what your friend code is.
My friend code. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
here.
don't give out your friend code, man.
You don't think I should give out my friend code?
No offense, Mr. Binkles.
I'm sorry, Mr. Binkles. But we're glad you're here.
Binkles, clap back at him.
Yeah, hit that.
Give us an argument as to why he should give you his friend code. All right, we're waiting patiently, Mr. Pinkles.
Well, why is my Oculus not connecting to my computer?
Oh yeah, so while we have Bobby here watching VR porn while talking to us.
Whoa! I'm not watching VR porn, actually. Oh, because my fucking thing. No, my thing didn't unplug. What the fuck? There we go. Why did it not let me do it?
I've been trying to get this one for so long, and I've never been able to, because you have to get these apples on the tree, and you have to get them in a specific design and order. You have to pick them all, and it's really hard to get the right apples off of the tree, and they take forever to regrow if you screw it up. I finally have that Korok.
Mr. Pinkles left.
Ah, what a fucking prick. See, that's why you don't give out your goddamn friend code.
Oh, he's back. It says 2 watching now again. He's back.
Oh, that's me. I just clicked on the thing.
Hey yo, we got 4 likes too. At least Mr. Binkles left us with a like. That was sweet of him.
Yeah.
I got something for this. Very
Mr.
nice.
Binkles, we love you. We appreciate you. Come back. Anyways, well, back to the pandemic talk, just so we get demonetized even more on YouTube.
Oh, don't say anything that would get us demonetized. Or some might say demonized.
We can't even get monetized, first of all. Channel's too small.
Listen, all I'm saying is that I believe that a little man named Mark Pyers said it best.
Stuck in a hole?
When he said, you know, all that deranged shit that he said. I don't remember what he said.
Mark Pyers, if you're out there and you're listening, it was us. We trolled you for so long.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't
you.
Here.
Travis is too much of a pussy to troll anyone.
What can I say? I am what I eat.
Travis,
play the laugh track. Government. Yeah, play the laugh. Go ahead. Yeah, it was real funny. Yeah, play the laugh track. Yeah.
Thank you. I have a little bit of extra tags I have to add here.
Travis, what's your favorite?
Oh shit! 5 likes. All right, so people are popping in and liking.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
People popping in, popping out there, enjoying the discussions about Sigma males versus a Nintendo Switch Lite.
Beta male sore boy cuck.
Would one of you guys type something in one of the chats? You can type it in either.
I am in VR right now. I'm trying to drive a tram.
Shaf, you can. Would you do me a quick favor? I just want to make sure it pops up in my overlay.
Yeah. Hold up. Yeah, I mean it popped up. I saw that it did.
It
that's
did.
How
Okay.
That's how I kind of knew. Yeah.
Good, because it's not loading on my end. It's loaded. Well, I don't know about the overlay. I have a built-in chat function in OBS too.
Okay. All right. I'm not trying to dox myself, so I'm switching over to a different YouTube account. All right. Hold up.
Scott.
If it'll let me log in. Hold on a second.
Scott Travis. No, that's too close to my name.
Scott Travis.
I like Travis Scott.
He's alright.
I've never been a big fan of Travis Scott, and the reason for that is when he came out with that first song in like 2015 or whenever it was, Antidote. People used to always stop me when they'd hear my name, or if they saw like my name tag or something, and they'd be like, "Oh, whoa, bro, your name's Travis, just like Travis Scott. Don't you open up that window?" Antidote, yeah. And it was like, yeah, all right. And then my name just got co-opted by Travis Scott, who, by the way, in case you didn't know, his first name isn't actually Travis. He just stole our swag and moved on.
Yeah. He walked.
You know what that reminds me of?
Mm-hmm.
That seems just like the hit movie of 1999 called Office Space.
Yeah.
And in Office Space, there's a character named Michael Bolton.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then
I remember
making
that.
the
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Bolton references.
I remember
That's
it
what I
'cause you
think
watched
of
it, like, last
with that
week.
story.
Yeah. What's
I watched the
who?
beginning of it.
Sorry. What's even a Michael Bolton? I was kind of lost.
You don't know Michael
Oh
Bolton?
my God, you're
Nah.
so young. I mean,
Mi-
obviously you're young. You listen to Andrew Tate, but still.
Okay. At least I'm
Michael
not a
Bolton
soy
did
boy
like
being a
I
Nobu
think it was
filled
like a lot
cock.
of like love ballads and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was
back in the 80s.
He's like Michael Bublé.
Yeah, he was the original
He's-
Mike.
I'm driving a tram on Vienna, Austria right now.
Are you
That
playing
is
Truck
the
Simulator?
most nerd thing
I'm playing
ever.
Tram
If you
Simulator
think about it.
Vienna.
Wait, so Travis, I did send a message. It didn't pop up.
No, it did pop up.
All right, you saw it. All right, okay.
Yeah. So Bobby, why don't you make the argument for or against VR real quick? Give me a quick. Actually, hold on.
For VR, like VR itself.
Not yet. It's starting to get darker outside, so I gotta up the ante a little bit.
So
Yeah.
So-
So. Are you guys there?
did someone dislike the YouTube?
Maybe.
It was at 5 and now it's at 4.
So YouTube does this thing too. And I'm not saying that's what happened here, but YouTube does this thing where sometimes it'll like way overpredict your likes and dislikes, and then it'll correct them later. Like sometimes, like I'll always put out a video. Oh, Mr. Binkles, thanks for coming back.
Mr. Pickles is back.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna give out my friend code just yet, but I appreciate it. I don't do a lot of online stuff anyways. I do a lot of single player games. Even then I've played through most of the library on the Switch. Thank you though. I appreciate it.
Mr. Pinkles, there we go. Anyway.
So Bobby,
So
give us.
Here's where I am. Again, I'm
Yeah.
kind of like indifferent on VR at this
Uh-huh.
point. I think it's cool. The technology is not there yet for me to adopt it.
For sure. Well, as someone
For-
who owns a
for
VR
instance.
headset, tell us what you think, Bobby.
It's like the same thing with electric cars.
I
you have
think
to burn
VR
coal.
is so fucking cool. I think VR is the
You have
future.
to burn coal and oil and natural gas to get electricity to charge the electric cars. So
Well, that's completely different and also very different. But I think VR. What do you want?
technology is not there for me to adopt it yet.
I think VR is very cool. I'm very pro VR. Obviously, as somebody with a VR headset currently on his head. I think VR is just really cool. I think there's a lot of cool functionality. First of all, video games in VR are epic.
Yeah.
They're in a completely different league. It's like insane. It's like, well, first of all, I mean, I do love a good gimmick. I was a big fan
I
of the
get it.
3DS.
Yeah.
I still love I still love my 3DS. I still play with the 3D on. I think it's a lot of fun. But I think VR is way better than that. I also love the Kinect. I thought the Kinect was cool. Just the motion control. VR is like, take all of the cool parts of the 3DS where it's like, oh wow, it's like real life. And
Yeah.
then all of the cool parts of the Kinect where it's like, oh wow, you're the controller. And then it's like mix them together and like actually make it good. That's VR. It's
But-
fucking insane.
Think about it.
And that's just the gaming aspect. That's just the gaming. There's more to it than just the gaming aspect. So there's the gaming aspect is that, and it's epic. There's also there is the like the entertainment aspect of like being able to watch like 3D VR content, like movies and stuff in full VR is pretty sick. And there's a video guy, like you can watch content in the aspect ratio at the scale that content creators want, which is cool. But the other thing,
So wait, what is this? Is this like mainly like YouTube or movies or?
Well, yeah, movies and stuff. Like there's a video one of my friends sent me. that's on it, and it's like, you know, think about like, okay, so you know Justice League, the
Yeah.
movie Justice League that came out, and you know how there's the other version of Justice League that was by the director that was, fired and then he came back.
Oh, I don't watch a lot of movies, especially like comic book movies. I just remember the TV show as a kid.
Okay, well there's another I forget his name, but the guy who made Justice League, originally he made his own version. There's like the other Justice League version, and it's in 4:3 because that's the aspect ratio that he wanted it. People made fun of it. It's like, why did he want it in 4:3? Well, if you actually talk to him, like if you listen to the interviews that he's done, he didn't. It's not 4:3 just because he's weird. It's because he originally wanted to shoot it for IMAX, and he wanted the movie to be in IMAX, and so that
is IMAX still around?
IMAX is still around, and he wanted it to be for the real IMAX. There's like 4 real IMAX theaters left in America that are like the full 2-story IMAX theaters with the 4:3 screen and the whole Dolby 8 million surround sound and all that.
Yeah.
And it's literally the 2 stories tall screen.
I wonder if one of them's over here, because I remember the
Yes.
Fort Worth Museum of Natural Science was
Well,
one of the first
one
places
is in at least one used to be in. I went to see a show at it at Moody Gardens in Galveston, Texas.
Okay.
And there's anyway. Was
so you're talking about how he originally
you can really only see the movie the way that he wanted it. I think it was like Zack Snyder or something, the Snyder cut. In 4 theaters around the country. But with VR, you can see it on your headset because you have the full field of vision, so you can VR put yourself in an IMAX theater. Pretend like that's the concept. Now with the actual resolution of VR headsets, it's not as great, but that's the point. So that's what I mean by content. And yeah, YouTube videos and stuff like that where there is full VR, and obviously porn, stuff like that. But
sorry.
Yeah. And then
I was a little late on the trigger there.
Good. Yeah, good. No, that's good. We can't have that. We can't have that.
Talk
about that.
Yeah, it's
unacceptable.
It goes against the law.
Get out, GTO.
Goes against TOS. Yeah.
Goes against TOS of God.
The other real big part of VR that I think, and I know people are making fun of it because Mark Zuckerberg is a character.
Yeah.
Is the social
the office
aspect
meeting
of VR.
stuff? Oh.
Well, yeah. So there's 2 parts of the social aspects.
Yeah.
There's the casual and the professional. Now, here's my take. See, the hard part is I'm trying to like phrase this in ways that you can clip it in like 60-second clips.
Well, it's way too late for that.
Yeah, but I mean, like I'm trying to think of how I'm gonna start a new clip.
Yeah. Well, if I did, it would be one clip, right? So just to kind of bring you into my mind a bit, I'm gonna take some of the key points from each section, and like something I'm gonna ask you to do in a minute is tell me like the actual value, like price versus the games. And don't tell me that now because I'll ask you in a question. But keep going. So the Mark Zuckerberg like social aspect.
Okay, so here let me get ready because
if you want to start it from the top.
I'm gonna start a full coherent point.
Okay.
So obviously there's the video games, but the other big I can hear Shaw playing something in the background.
I think he's listening to
Listen to the bullfrog.
Dude, you fucked me up, man.
I was listening to the bullfrog, baby.
Anyway. Alright, let me start that again.
Johnny Knoxville, you can't see faggot.
Okay, alright. Let's... Jesus.
I didn't know he'd say that.
You didn't think he'd say that? It's the bullfrog.
Alright.
Alright, now I gotta mute and finish this clip.
In terms of things to clip out, we're gonna just add that on the other monitor here. Okay. Alright. Keep going, Bobby.
So, obviously you have the video games, but the other big aspect of VR is the social aspect. And there's even two parts of the social aspect. There's the casual and the professional. Now, the casual, and I know Mark Zuckerberg has kind of been a joke character about this, but it really is an impressive feat. The ability that you can really talk to. I mean, it
I love
started with the
impressive feet.
internet. Yeah, this started with the internet, that you can communicate with people worldwide. But with VR, you really can, make it feel like you're there and socialize in a more human way. One thing I will say is that I think every man, woman, and child should read the 1992 novel Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson.
Jesus Christ, this is like the third or fourth podcast you've mentioned this on.
It is so important, dude. It's so prescient, especially because Mark Zuckerberg literally named his multi-billion-dollar corporation after the thing in the book. It's not like, so in the book it's called the metaverse, and that's where he got it from. He got it from Snow Crash. And a lot of the stuff that Mark Zuckerberg is like saying he's going to do with VR is literally from the book Snow Crash. So that's why I keep bringing it up. Like, having emotions and having a VR headset that will read your emotions and create facial expressions as a character model is a big part of the book Snow Crash. Like, that's talked about a lot in the book Snow Crash, and how important that is for business and for doing business meetings. And so I will say that I really think that the professional aspects of it, obviously people have been using the casual aspects like VR chat and even some of the meta stuff. People have been using the casual aspects of it for a while in terms of the socializing, but the professional aspects of it, I think, are going to take off. And the fact that you can have, I've been to a couple VR conferences. Now, obviously nothing major, but like, you can have conferences. It's to me, it's really, really powerful. To me, VR is so powerful professionally because you can have conferences the same way that you would normally have a conference, but for a fraction of the price. So imagine, you have to imagine there's a conference in like Las Vegas, right? And you want to send like 50 people to Las Vegas for this conference. You have to pay for airfare. Like, unless you live in Las Vegas, you have to pay for airfare and hotels, and obviously the price of the tickets there and meals, and you have to pay for all of this stuff. Like, the expense is a lot of money. That's why businesses rarely send a lot of people to conferences, because it costs a ton of money to send someone. Like I said,
good. I don't want to go anyways.
Meals, hotels.
Yeah.
But what if instead you just had to spend $500 or $200 an employee, probably more like $500, $500 an employee once, and then they got this headset and they can go to as many conferences as they want, and it's only $500 an employee. I mean, the airfare alone is barely going to be $500 an employee.
Plus, a lot of people don't like riding on planes, turns out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, first of all, you're going to be you're only going to have so many people going to the conference. You could have a lot more people going to conferences, that are cool.
Yeah.
So I think that is, and you can have the same conference experience, because with proximity chat and stuff like that, you can have the same thing where there are speakers in one section and there are the booths in another section, and people are talking to each other the same way. I've done VR conferences, and I've done other virtual style conferences that aren't VR. Virtual conferences that aren't VR do not work. It just doesn't work. You can have a WebEx or you can have a Zoom that's a speaker seminar, and you can have, like, that works because you can stream the content that way. Q&A can work because it's one person talking at a time, but if you want the part of the conference that is talking to people, like going up to booths and stuff, that just literally doesn't work. That does not work. Unless you're
I
in
think
VR.
VR is bad for society because like people are gonna get into those fake worlds, and then they'll forget about the real ones. Like everyone's gonna be stuck in those headsets, not talking to each other or going outside. It's just not good if you ask me.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm literally talking about how people are talking to each other more effectively.
No,
But
I don't think it's good. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
oh, you don't think people should be talking to each other?
No, I think
Scott
it's
from
not good.
Scottsdale says it's not very good for you. Bobby, would you
Everyone's
like to
just gonna get
respond?
stuck in those headsets. I mean, you're not talking to each other or going outside.
You are talking to each other.
But you're really not because you're not actually talking.
You are literally talking to. I mean, we are literally talking to each other right now.
All right, check the group chat.
Owned.
I can't. I'm in VR.
Oh, well, VR, is it really that great after all then?
I mean, I'm literally talking to you right now, and I'm in VR. So.
Yeah, whatever.
So that response that I made was generated via Chat GPT.
Dude, get owned.
Oh
Yeah.
no way!
He just Chat GPT'd you. He owns
He just
you.
Chat GPT'd me.
I Chat GPT'd the fuck out of you.
Oh, I got Chat GPT'd.
Get
I
Chat
thought it was
GPT,
just like a
dude.
dumb joke Scott Shaw response, but it was actually
Scotty
a
Shaw.
dumb joke Scott Shaw response via
Scott.
ChatGPT.
Dude, GPT-4 is fucking cool.
So how do you know you
GPT-4 is
upgraded?
insane.
Oh, it shows it on there. Did you pay for that?
I paid for it. I wanted to
Oh, you
try
actually
it.
paid for
I paid
ChatGPT?
for it. I've used ChatGPT enough where I feel like I should be paying for it.
Yeah.
And GPT-4 is really good. It is better. It's a bit slower, but it is much better. So I have no issue paying a couple bucks a month for it.
How much is it a month?
20.
Nice.
It's limited right now though. If I were you, if you have no real pertinent use for it other than fucking around, I'd wait a month. Because right now you can only generate 25 responses every 3 hours. So they're really limiting it. Because of yada 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 or whatever. But I think give it some time. Let the hype
25 an
die
hour is
down a
not
bit.
bad.
No, 25 every 3 hours. Before it was 25 every 4 hours. So they're slowly like lifting the limiting on it.
Right.
I mean, it's super powerful.
Yeah, and mind you, I'm
takes a lot
paying
of computing
to
power.
use it. I'm paying to use it. They're not giving it to anybody. So
I think it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it slapped out that response. It just shows that now the AI language model knows what proper formatting is and what proper formatting isn't. I mean, it properly formatted the wrong way to say something.
Right. Yeah, no, it's incredibly impressive. I mean, you can have it type in the style of like a comedian or writer or in some sort of text. I mean, it's impressive stuff.
So what's a good thing? Give me an extremely detailed argument on how Elon Musk is a bad guy coming from a hillbilly's perspective.
Taking away your right to free speech, brother. Ain't no truth but the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, now, I reckon I ought to tell y'all a thing or two about that feller Elon Musk. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't one for reading them fancy newspapers or nothing. But I've heard some folks say he's up to no good. First off, this old boy is shooting them rockets into the sky like it ain't nobody's business. Now, I reckon if God wanted us flying around in space, he would have given us a wings or something. I just don't think it's right, messing with the natural order of things. Then there's them electric cars he's been making. Now, I know folks say they're better for the environment and all. I've been driving my trusty old pickup truck for years, and it ain't never done me wrong. Them fancy electric cars ain't got no soul, if you ask me. Plus, I heard they got them lithium batteries that's got to be dug up from the ground, and I reckon that ain't too good for old Mother Earth neither.
Okay, no hillbilly is gonna say that.
Yeah, that's true.
You
know what the hillbilly, You know what the hillbilly would say? Them liberal machines instead of my goddamn pickup truck. I want a truck gonna roll coal on them cyclists, them eco villains, man. They want that electric cars. They can do them 15-minute cities. I'll tell you what about them 15-minute cities.
Dude,
they want to go.
The 15-minute city stuff is so insane. Shah, have you ever heard of them?
See, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it means. Like, what a 15-minute city is.
So the actual 15 minutes. So if the idea of a 15-minute city is it's the urban planning philosophy that cities should be designed in a way such that it facilitates the majority of the population being able to live in an area where it's only a 15-minute walk or bicycle ride to all of their daily necessities.
So like grocery store, gym.
So yeah, pretty much
station.
everyone in the city lives within a 15-minute walk or bike ride, but generally a 15-minute walk to grocery store, a doctor's office, dentist, their work, a
plastic
park.
surgery clinic.
Yeah,
a coffee
store.
store.
That's the idea. That's the concept.
Or a shop.
Yep, you live. Clothing stores, grocery stores. General stores, wares. Drug stores. Everything is within a 15-minute walk from your residence.
Electronics store.
Sure.
A CNN.
Okay,
then
you're just
CNN
fucking listing
factory.
stores. The liberal propaganda machine.
Liberal propaganda machine.
But that's Shah. That's the concept.
A drop shipping course should be a 15-minute walk from your place.
Yeah, sorry.
But it ended up getting bastardized into this thing where it's like, oh hell, they're going to hide you in the chambers of the city, and you won't be able to get out until you get your bloody social credit score checked, and they're going to be milking you, and literally, and you're going to have to eat grasshopper and cricket juice. And it just went off the rails.
The way it morphed is people looked at that, and instead of saying, the philosophy is this is the way that cities should be designed. In a perfect world, cities would be designed such that you don't need to go more than a 15-minute walk to get all your daily necessities. What people saw that as was they are going to design all of our cities in such a way that we will not be allowed to walk more than 15 minutes to get all of our basic needs. And then they're going to get rid of our cars, and they're going to make it so that they wall us off and we're not allowed to leave. And it doesn't matter, we're not allowed. It's like nobody said in the original thing that you're not allowed to leave. It's just you don't need to go more than 15 minutes to get all your basic necessities. You can still leave, but people saw that and they said, no, they're going to make it so you're not allowed to leave. So they're going to keep you locked in, and they want to take the cars and they want to turn your car off so that you're not allowed to leave. And there was a climate report that came out that said that basically, one of the reports said they want, in a perfect and ideal world, by 2050, the average person will take no more than one regional flight a year. Like, in the perfect world, nobody will take any regional flights. But in a pretty good world, people will take no more than one regional flight a year. And people saw that as they are going to make it that by 2050 you're not allowed to take a flight. You're not allowed to go to another city. But the way it was written was that we want to design a world where that people don't need to take regional flights, which means that they would take some alternative means, like a train. There'd be such a great train network that you wouldn't need to fly a short-haul flight. But because people, especially in America, don't realize that trains exist, they simply know car and also plane. They saw that as, oh, they're going to get rid of airfare. Like, people say, oh, you're going to get rid of an airplane. There's literally no alternative. I'm screwed. You're gonna But that's not what it is. So that's why people are protesting it, because they see that and they're like, they're gonna get rid of my airfare. They're like gonna kettle me. It's like that's not at all what they want.
Wouldn't planes like end up being the fastest though?
Not necessarily.
I mean, yeah, like short haul, like less than 500 miles, and yeah, I can see a train being faster than a plane.
Yes, and that's what they want. That's what they mean by short haul. Like, it wasn't that by 2050 nobody's taking a transatlantic flight. It's by 2050 nobody's taking a regional flight, a less than 500-mile flight.
So, or something like, we don't know the exact figure, but I'd say 500 miles.
Actually, it's 500 to 600 miles. There's actually we do know this exact figures. Transportation engineers have what's called like this triangle curve, this perfect triangle for trains, and that's the curve between cars and planes. There's a third thing. I don't know what the fuck the third thing is, but basically there's what?
Trains, planes, and plantains?
No, there's something else. But basically, if you were to draw a line of like effectiveness, where cars dip off well before planes pick up in terms of like how good they are for this range. And that's where like long distance high speed rail is like perfect. It's like 200 to 500 miles. Actually, it's more like 100 to 500 miles.
100 to 500 miles, yes, I guess is perfect for train. I guess it really ends up being that, like, yeah, like, so like what is that perfect distance? So like how far are people from each other? So like let's say like great tourist and vacation spots like Miami, Las Vegas, they're pretty far away from a majority of the population hub.
Oh yeah, so you would fly there, but Las Vegas is a great rail connection to LA. It's only, I think Las Vegas is less than 500 miles from LA.
It's got a great Hyperloop connection too for you to take your Tesla TM.
God. Cut my balls off and sniff them. So like Las Vegas is perfect for a high-speed rail link.
I feel like Las Vegas would be a great train city, at least for Californians.
Yeah, for LA it'd be perfect because there'd be like one stop. It would be like pretty much a direct connection. The only reason there would be any stop between Las Vegas and LA is because right now there's an interstate where people pretty much have to stop. So it'd be like, just because if I'll say this. If Las Vegas to LA always had a high-speed rail connection, there would be no cities between Las Vegas and LA because people would just be taking the direct connection and not need to stop.
Well, you'd still have like exurbs and suburbs and stuff
I
like
disagree.
that.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking. I'm talking like to a certain extent Barstow, but also Prim, mainly Prim, Nevada. Prim, Nevada really only exists because people drive between LA and Las Vegas.
I feel like I disagree. There are always going to be people, and a lot of them, that want to live outside of cities.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about cities between Los Angeles and Las Vegas.
Yes, like between. All right, so let's say like between Las Vegas and Los Angeles are 500 miles, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying 250 miles in, there's a city called Prim.
Yes.
That is there because of the interstate.
Pretty much, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If there was a high-speed rail connection that was direct, I don't think Prim would have ever gotten developed. Because if you look at Prim on a map, it's in the middle of a fucking desert. The only reason it exists is because it is just on the other side of the Nevada border, where you're allowed to like gamble and shit. And because people drive, they don't want to drive the extra 3 hours or extra hour and a half to get to Las Vegas. They can just stop there.
So Prim exists because of gambling.
Prim exists because they got rid of the train. In my mind, I mean, I don't know exactly the history.
It's there because of gambling. Because I can guarantee you, if there was a train and Prim existed, the gamblers are going to get off at the first stop.
I'm saying if there was a train, I don't think Prim would have ever existed because people would have just stuck on the train because they don't have to drive the train. They don't have to physically. They can just fall asleep.
Gamblers don't sleep, buddy.
Okay.
Gambling is a grind.
Yeah.
That's
Some
true.
say.
Did you know that 98% of gamblers quit before they hit it big?
This
True.
funny that it's usually given as like 99%. So it's like there was some sort of statistical breakthrough where they realized, oh my god, 98% actually, 2% are making it big.
Yeah, 98% of gamblers quit before they hit it big. So guess what, baby? Keep pressing the slots button.
But
Anyways, I don't like casinos. I think they're a morbid business.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dark thing. I think I've seen it before. There's this video of like a bunch of old people lined up.
Oh my
just doing
god, yeah.
slots.
The slot
And-
machine championship.
Was that what it was?
I think that's what the one comment I heard that was.
Well, I mean, whatever it was like 80 old people just sitting in a line, sitting in the slot machine, just pressing buttons.
It's not even
And just, like-
buttons. It's a single button.
Yeah, it's like they just keep pressing that single button, staring at the screen, waiting for the number to go up and down.
Do you guys want to hear my my West Virginia story?
Sure.
Okay, no, I agree with you there. Yeah. The only reason Prim exists is because there's no train. It's
Thank
close
you.
enough to Las Vegas that where like it's maybe an extra hour of driving or something.
Yeah, but if you have to drive it, it's like ugh.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I gotta
Whereas
get
if
my
you're-
fix. I gotta get my fix.
Whereas if you're on the train, it's like, well, the train driver's not gonna stop for you. It's like, well,
Yeah.
just sit tight. You don't have to. It's objectively less tiring to sit on a train than it is to drive. Anyway, you want to hear my West Virginia story?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
So I was a couple years ago. I went to the DMV. That's the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. They call it the DMV. They also call it the DMV because the roads are a mess. Anyway,
That was the
I
Department of
went to
Motor
the
Vehicles.
DC metro area. I went to Arlington to visit my sister. And while we were there, we went on a vineyard tour. We went wine tasting in Northern Virginia. Because there's a lot of vineyards there. And so while we're at this one vineyard, we really wanted to get food because we're really hungry. And all the vineyards just had these really crappy store-bought like charcuterie boards, so they didn't have any food. So we were like, all right. We looked it up and we found out there was a pizza parlor on the other side of the border of the West Virginia border. And I said that's great because I count counties and I was like, oh, I've never been to that part of West Virginia. Like it'll knock off counties. It was a perfect spot. So we're driving, and here's the thing that I love about that part of the country. When you drive from Virginia into West Virginia, like via the north, like from Northern Virginia into West Virginia into that panhandle, you can tell immediately when you're in West Virginia because all of a sudden you'll hit this hill and you'll just see this beautiful vista. This beautiful mountain range and stuff, and you're like, holy shit, and you'll just see this big welcome to West Virginia sign. You're like, holy shit, that's why they put the border there. Okay. And so we cross the border and we go and there's this like fucking pizza parlor. And we sit there, we walk in, and it's really smoky in the room. And it's like, it's this very long building, and we're like, we only see like half of it. And we sit down, and there's a couple of people at the bar. It's like 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. And it's like there are people sitting at the bar just drinking beer, just not saying a word, like that Bill Burr bit. Just sitting there, like, just staring straight at the sadness that their life is. And you just tell it's very smoky in the room. But nobody's smoking. It's very weird. And so my brother-in-law and I noticed this sign.
Like a fog machine.
This door. We noticed this fucking door. And, It said lottery room. Door must remain closed at all times. And we were like, what the fuck is a lottery room? And so we asked, curiosity got the best of us. We asked the waitress, like, what's the lottery? Like, what's the deal? What's the lottery room? And she told us that it's just like,
what's the deal?
It's just like a couple of slot machines. Like it's our little mini casino. Like you can have a casino in the restaurant. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah. And so it's like this little. Oh, it's the door said lottery room must be 18 or older to enter. Door must remain closed at all times. I just it must be 18 or older to enter, and it's like a couple of slot machines. So my brother and I are like, we gotta go in. We gotta go see this lottery room. So we walk into the door, and we're just hit
We walk
with
into
this.
the door.
Yeah, we walk right into the door. Bow. No, so we go into the room.
Yeah.
And it
stupid.
was like we walked into a door with the amount of cigarette smoke. and the scene that found us was 3 slot machines on one side of the wall, and on the other side of the wall was a continuation of the bar from the other room. And on the wall there was 3 slot machines with 3 really shitty, like, beat up office, like $100 office chairs from like Staples, like the really shitty office chairs from Staples. Like 3 of those, and it was like that. It was the 3 slot machines, and because it was just after COVID, they had like these little pieces of plexiglass that they taped, like duct tape to the side of the slot machine with like PVC pipe to like as their COVID barrier between the machines. It was really haphazard. And so we sit down. I go to sit down. There's 2 no, maybe it was 4 slot machines, because there was 2 old guys sitting at two of the slot machines, and they're just chain smoking cigarettes with beers in their hands, just putting money into the machines, just hitting the button. They just keep hitting the button. And the other 2 machines were open. My brother-in-law sits down at one, and I go to sit down at another, but there's a pair of keys in the slot machine. I'm like, well, nobody else is here, so I pick up the keys and like move them. And I sit down, and then this woman comes up, and she's like, "Oh, did you touch my keys?" And I was really worried. I was like, "Oh shit, is she gonna yell at me? Is she gonna be like, that's my machine! I'm high! I'm running high! You're gonna ruin my luck!"
Yeah.
And I'm like, but no, she's just like, she let me like play the machine. So my brother-in-law throws some money, and he wins like $10. And the guys next to him notice that, and they kind of get a little upset. They're like, because they're chain smoking, just glued to the machine, just hitting the button, beep 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 beep. They must have been there for hours with how much cigarette smoke there is in the air. I'm already getting a headache from the fucking secondhand smoke. So we walk back out. My brother-in-law's like, I won $10, and he's just like, he shows the waitress. He's like, do I cash here? And she's like, yeah, I guess I can cash it. And my brother-in-law is just like, he just leaves the $10 like the slip. He leaves the slip as a tip because he's like, I don't want him to be like, you won our money, that's our money, son. You went from around here, these pots here, that you're winning our money. So he just left the money there. But it was the fucking wildest experience, a West Virginia lottery room, where it's just like, a West Virginia lottery room is just smoke-filled place, just slot machines, an old guy. I just remember the old men, like my grandma, they reminded me of my grandfather, just sitting there, just glued to the machine, just hitting the button. They just kept hitting the button. Just beep, beep, beep.
They're living life in the moment. I mean, it's
they
positivity.
really are living life.
They're living life in the moment.
All they have is the moment.
All they have is the moment. And there are times like this that you can't replicate. You can't replicate this. You know what I mean? And it's happening live. It's happening live every night.
Making it sound like it's like this big party and we're missing out on it.
I was pretending to be Mark Pyers.
I mean, but that's
Positivity.
what I expect out of West Virginia. You know, everything I've seen about West Virginia, and if you're listening to this and you're from West Virginia, do something that portrays your state in a good light. You need some good PR. No one's doing it for you. But anything I see is about how all the jobs left, you know, all the unions left, or I guess maybe they're there but they're neutered. Everyone's addicted to drugs. I mean, the most famous movie, as far as I'm aware of, that's filmed inside of West Virginia is the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, which isn't the best message you're sending out into the world. So, I mean, you know, hearing something like that, that's actually, they're doing better than I would expect.
I mean, it's just a hick state for the most part.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of money in it, not a lot of industry that is good. I can't really blame the people that live there for it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them, as far as I understand, are stuck there at this point. You know, like how do you get out?
Yeah. I think maybe. I think there are
Do
ways
you
you can
guys
escape.
know about how West Virginia was founded?
Yeah, during the Civil War, it didn't want to be part of the Confederacy, so it split off from Virginia.
No.
I know a thing or two. So we never got this earlier, and this is what I was really looking for. Is when we're talking about VR, I want you to tell me the value, right? Like the games, the other entertainment you're getting for it versus the actual price itself. And do you think that's a call that's worth making?
So I'm gonna be fully honest. I got my VR headset for free.
How? If you can.
It was a
answer
gift.
It. Oh, okay.
My job, they gave me one as like a, as a gift for being at the company for a couple of years. Oops, did I hit the wrong button?
Yeah, and what you should thank, how you should thank them is shitting on the carpet like before you quit.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So now to be clear, I probably would have gotten a different VR headset, if I did not get the one I got for free. So I got the, I guess now the Meta Quest. This is the one thing I hate about the Facebook Meta rebranding. They made it the Meta Quest, and I think Oculus is a way better word. Like the Oculus Quest is because Oculus is such a cool name for a
It just sounds
like
cool for technology like the Oculus.
Yeah.
It sounds cool.
Anyway, so I have the Meta Quest, and the Quest 2. I love it. I'm very glad I got it because I wouldn't have gotten it. I would have gotten a different headset. I would have gotten probably the Valve Index, which is about $1,000, and I like the Meta Quest better because it has, while it's a slightly lower specs, it does have the like you can do both standalone and like AirPlay, like Link, like Steam VR, which I think is really cool. So I would have spent the whole $1,000 to get like a Valve Index. That's how much I like VR. Back when they first had the Meta Quest, when they were like $200, totally worth it. 100% worth it. I think it was the coolest fucking thing. It was definitely worth all of that.
All that in a bag of chips.
All that in a bag of chips. Definitely worth the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle.
What is worth it in society when it comes to it? Like, let's really talk about this.
Ironically, I think we kind of touched on that issue with our whole, Sigma male Legend of Zelda debate, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point of the grind, right? Making money.
Yeah.
Well, it's what you ascribe to. What does the money do for you, And it could be something, necessary, like housing or food or, I don't know, the ability to go out and take care of your kids and go on dates with your wife.
I literally think it just amounts to like freedom for the most part.
Yeah.
If you have money, you're able to do what you want for the most part. You don't
but
like
the
your
flip side
job,
of that,
you can quit, get a new one.
Sorta. The flip side of it is to get the money, you have to give up a lot of freedom. It's almost kind of like an IOU. You give up your freedom now.
So what you really want is financial independence, which is different from grinding. If you're grinding, you literally don't have financial independence in my mind.
But if you have to grind to reach financial independence, you know what I mean?
I mean, not unless you're born rich.
In Scott's defense here, you could make the argument that there are people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, and although, primarily their hustle is making money through the capital that they've already accrued, there is some degree of, why not quit while you're ahead? And, they have the financial freedom, but for whatever reason, they decide to keep making money either way.
Well, yeah, I think that's where well-regulated capitalism comes into play. I mean, there's only so much money you can use as a single human being on yourself.
Yeah.
And at that point, it comes to the betterment of society. I mean, look at Amazon. it has a lot of money. He's made a lot of money. But he's also provided services to people that were unprecedented. Like 2-day delivery. Was that a thing before Amazon? Yes. Did it cost an arm and a leg? Yes.
Well, actually, I don't know if it was the thing before. Well, maybe if you did like priority shipping, but
I mean, like, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
like USPS overnights always existed. Like UPS overnights always existed. But yeah, it's costed $90.
Yeah, but one might say that I think before Amazon, two-day shipping cost as much as 2-day shipping should cost. I think Amazon has artificially lowered what it should cost. My mind.
I mean, they turned a more. I guess there's a volume-based business and then there's a service-based business. You know what I mean? Like the volume is just so high, they're able to give you cheaper for that service.
Also, they treat their employees like garbage. Like they force them to piss in bottles in order to achieve the 2-day shipping. The reason 2-day shipping cost so much money beforehand was because they weren't like screwing over their employees.
But those employees at Amazon wouldn't exist unless the 2-day shipping got so popular.
Well, they wouldn't exist as employees at Amazon. They get different jobs.
Yeah. So why don't they go get different jobs?
Because Amazon has destroyed those jobs. I mean, it killed Barnes and Noble. It killed Borders.
I've never even heard of Borders.
Exactly.
Dude, I used to love Borders as a kid.
Exactly.
What is Borders?
It was a bookstore. Think like Barnes and Nobles. It was a nice bookstore.
So it was a bookstore.
Yeah, they killed bookstores.
Yeah. That they did do.
I mean, it's a bookstore. It's not like it's a pharmacy, you know?
Well, but I mean, that was like a whole industry, right? It's in the same way, record shops don't exist anymore.
Are you saying, to me, Shaw,
yeah,
to me, knowledge is as important as medicine. Right? Knowledge,
well,
like information, books, is medicine for your brain. All right. So for you to say something,
we live
like,
in a little information era where you can find a majority of the information you can find in a bookstore online.
That like a bookstore is not as important as it is not like a pharmacy. To me, a bookstore is a pharmacy. A bookstore is a pharmacy for your mind. Okay. All right. So and I know that, yeah, we live in an information age, but that information age is still gatekept through intellectual property, all right? And what happens if society collapses, right? What happens if the power goes out, right? What happens if the internet goes out, right? Physical books, paper books last longer than iPads. They last longer than Kindles, all right? And they can be used for other things than just books, right? To me, a good book, cracking open a good physical book, it's something worth keeping Borders around, and to me that's as important as medicine.
Okay, great. But did those books become non-available to buy anymore? No, you could still buy the book. It's not like the book went out of business.
If I want to go buy a book, I want to buy the paper version of a book. Guess what I'm gonna have to do? I'm either going to have to, I'm going to have to buy off Amazon, maybe wait 2 to 7 days. I can't just take a 5-minute ride, go to the bookstore, check it out in person, rifling through the pages and have some Starbucks coffee in the in-store Starbucks. They took away that option for me.
So why don't you just go to the library? Huh? Has Amazon killed the libraries?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't have an answer.
Over libraries.
Has Amazon killed? No, it hasn't. It hasn't killed the library.
I mean, they're trying to. So.
You could still go and get a book from a library. Oh, and guess what? Oh, you go right down to the bookstore, and the bookstore doesn't have it. What do they have to do? They have to order it, and you have to wait. You go down to the library. If they don't have it, you have to order it, and they have to wait. It killed off a bad business model. Sorry. Yeah, make sure you clip this part now because you're just speechless at this point. Like you just got owned. Red pill guy owns Beta Male Cuck. saying Amazon is bad.
Red pill Bezos stan.
All right, to be clear, though, I'm not a Bezos stan. I feel like the working conditions could be a lot more better. They should be allowed to unionize with how big the corporation is.
Okay.
Exactly.
But to downplay the good Amazon has had on consumer conveniences.
I mean, again, to a certain extent, think about so they have this one very anti-consumerist business practice. There are a lot of anti-consumerist business practices that Amazon does. So yes, is the online shopping and 2-day, that sort of stuff, 2-day shipping and all that great for the consumer? Yes, obviously. Otherwise, people would not have used Amazon at the beginning. It's a great idea. Otherwise, Amazon wouldn't have existed at the beginning. But what Amazon does now that is very anti-consumer is they will look at the top products in a category and create a knockoff in the exact same style and undercut it. Sell it for a lot less than the actual product they're knocking off, and then until that product goes out of business, and then they're the only one, and then boom, then they make it. They make cheaper, shittier versions of the same product and promote their product higher, and then people will buy it. And so they destroy. They're ruining the competition in the marketplace.
Did you include the part where they try to force the business to work with Amazon and then they undercut them anyways? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
They also what else do they do? Oh, just the whole culture of Amazon's storefronts are super scammy. Like there's a lot of fake reviews and scam products and all sorts of stuff that does Amazon try to cut down? Yeah, but they only cut down so much that it stops hurting them. They'll only, remove a product if it's actively hurting Amazon as a business. They keep a lot of stuff on there because it actually makes them money to have these fake reviews and these scams.
So what I'm gauging is that there are issues with something so large that it's hard to control.
I think the company Amazon is Amazon
predatory,
does a lot of
predatory
stuff.
It is predatory. I don't disagree. It is predatory.
I mean, I think
with anything so large, predatory happens. I mean, when things get so big, it's hard to control everything. I mean,
right.
Just look at how can the SEC control every form of fraud that happens? No, they can't.
And
There's
that's
something
from
new happening every day.
Yeah, and that's from the small business front too, right? Like these are the people who went out, made their own small business. 1 second. Who went out, they made their own small business. They're making money, and then the largest company in the world just comes in and just destroys them, and then they take that market share. And then they, reap the benefits of it by creating identical products or selling something similar, or basically forcing the people to go to Amazon, and then there's the whole employee component of it too. And I think you made a good point in saying that something of Amazon's size probably should have unions, but they're doing this from all fronts. It's no bueno.
I mean, that's just how they're able to stay successful.
Well, I think they would be successful either way because they dominate.
If you wanted to change it, you'd have to change the legislature, i.e., being, hey, let's say if a company hits 300,000 employees, right? It has to be unionized. You turn that into law. A union must be representing the workers.
Okay. Not bad. Sure.
I think it should be 15,000 employees.
I think it should be less, but I like the concept of unions kicking in at some employee count. I like that.
Oh yeah, but then here comes the thing, but then regulating unions would be a big issue because now you'd have to regulate them since they're government mandated.
I don't think you need to regulate them. I mean, the whole point of a union.
I think you do.
Well,
I think you do because unions, because as much as unions do help consumers. I think a lot of the people get into the unions to line their own pockets. I'll give you an example. The union I'm in, they're fucking over my job title, and they've been fucking over my job title since since like the last contract was created.
Only
Like
explain as far as you feel comfortable. But
my coworker was making a lot more money before the union contract changed. He went from making close to $35 an hour to 15.
Well, then you need to talk to your
change?
union rep. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're a small part of the union. That's the issue. The union is large and it represents so many people. We're the last people that get thought of.
Well, then still talk to your union rep. You still have representation.
They won't do anything. That's the issue. Maybe I haven't explained it properly. Think someone as outspoken as me and double it. That's another one of my coworkers. He was the union rep, and they decided to stop giving him a stipend for being the union rep. They were like, we really can't pay you to do it anymore. Will you do it anyway? And he was like, yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah.
He was actively advocating for his own rights. Great, and he wasn't getting paid a lot of money to do it either. And then they stopped paying him to do it.
So is he primarily a union rep? Like, is that what he was getting paid for?
No, he worked there. He was an employee like everyone else.
And then he was like being a union rep on top of it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because he cares. He cares.
Sure.
He was one of the guys that cares a lot. And he wanted to do it. So he did it.
So
but then
did
they
the
stopped
change in
paying him, so he
income
stopped doing
come
it.
from when he stopped getting paid to be a union rep? Like, was that where the $20 difference kicked in?
These are two different coworkers actually. One of the coworkers that made a lot more money, different coworker. The coworker that was actively the union rep is a different coworker.
Right.
But he was telling me like, yeah, the union fucks us over every time, and I got tired of seeing it, and I got tired of getting bitched around and you're not getting paid enough to do it. And then as soon as they said they're not going to give me any more money, I just stopped because it wasn't worth his time or effort anymore.
Yeah. See,
so at that point it becomes like, okay, so they're representing that large group. They're not doing anything for us.
So
and we're
what's
paying
the larger
all these
group?
dues and not.
Is it specific to your employer or in industry? You know, keep it vague.
It's specific to the employer. Specific to the employer.
All right.
The employer has so many titles and so many roles and so many different things, and everyone has a different benefits package and like sick leave and time off package. Everything is different. The benefits packages are different, and so since we're basically one of the cheapest, at least on my end, one of the cheapest employees to have, and the least paid, they just like don't give a fuck about us. Like, I'll give you another example, right? There was supposed to be a bonus coming out to all the employees that work. Like, with the ratification of the CU union contract, only X employees are getting those bonuses. We'd be one of the job titles that's left out.
And why is that? It almost sounds like the union isn't representing you.
It's not.
But you're still a part of the union, like.
Yeah. So
of course, I've never been in a union. I'm in an area where unions functionally don't exist, right? So I learned about it from, various resources that don't include personal experience and don't include people in my life. But I would assume that, I guess it would be the rep or whoever, that you should have some way of making your voice heard to the organization.
Yeah, they don't listen though. That's the whole point. It's like the cronies on top don't do anything about it. They only listen to the people that are, I guess, more important. But the whole point of the union is to make sure everyone is seen as important.
And that's how it should be. If they're not doing that, then they're not doing their
job.
I would agree.
That's the point. Yeah, that's the point. Same thing with politicians and local government. They're gonna do what they do to line. Oh yeah, and mind you, they did approve themselves a pay raise. The union execs.
Yeah.
While doing all that. So the point ends up being that the people on top are going to make the money regardless, whether they're there to help you, harm you, do whatever you want. So there needs to be some sort of regulation against them. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I think there are some triggers that kind of go up, when I hear something like that, though, and it's because I think regulation is. I understand probably how Bobby imagines it too, and that's in your situation, I fully sympathize with you, and I would, I'd be upset too, and seek some sort of answer. But you often think of regulation with unions as like non members who don't want to pay union dues despite being in the union, can skip out and underfund the union, and then it's less effective, or employers being able to, like an at-will state, employers can fire you for no reason. And
I'm
if
in
they
an
have
at-will
reason to
state.
believe that you're forming a union, that they wouldn't go back in and, fire you before you get the chance, or cut your hours down. Things that keep you from having that choice. But if it were regulations in the sense that it actually gives you, the worker, a bigger voice, I think that'd be a good thing. I think that'd be a great thing.
That's what I mean. It needs to be regulated to be like
Yeah.
the union isn't just another corporation. It's like, well, members this, members that, but an easier way to do it. Like a complaint form would go to a third party committee rather than you. If I complain to my union, then you're just gonna say you're not important enough to us, throw it away.
Right.
Because he's gonna have to pay the dues regardless. Because if you're an employee here, you have to be unionized.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of I think what everyone sees as like the optimal outcome of a union is that it evens out the playing field and gives someone like you, equal status to the highest members of the highest members of your organization that are also unionized, right? And gives each one of you an equal voice to make your case be known, and to
Yeah, and the funny
Be heard.
part. The funny part is there's
Yeah.
a separate compensation plan. It's called the executive compensation plan. You're not unionized. You could get fired at any time.
uh-huh.
And those are the guys that are making like close to six, if not multi-six figure.
Sure.
So
Yeah, but they're
unions-
also the first to go if any trouble hits.
That's probably true too. Yeah.
yeah, but once you've been in that position, it's probably, I would say, not hard to find another one.
Depends on
You
how
never
the
know.
market is.
I mean, I've known a lot of people.
Right now, there's a lot of software engineers that trouble finding work, and they're in positions where, like, it
Those
used
are
to
just
be-
software engineers. Those are software engineers. Those aren't big leadership positions where your name's thrown on a bunch of things
Well,
and this, that, and that.
I mean, you kind of see like this thing come up where you may get paid a lot and be like a high ranking position, but there are also less of them out there. A lot of people I know who aren't like upper class, they're just upper middle class, right? They're making maybe $100,000 at best, maybe $150,000. When they get laid off, they're the people who seem to get laid off the longest.
Yeah.
Because of the way everything's set up for them. Kind of like what Bobby's saying. At least from my experience.
When Twitter, like, if you worked for Twitter or Facebook, it was said, like, oh, like, you can work anywhere you want because you work for Twitter and Facebook. But now it's like, well, even though you work for Twitter and Facebook, it's a little scarier because everyone's got laid off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Here.
that's Fang though. No,
I'm
like,
gonna-
Fang are the big.
I gotta go take a piss. I'll be back in just a second.
But I mean, that's the same thing for executives. I mean, if people are laying off executives, there's only so many executives that can
But
be
I mean,
around.
but like I said, they're only they're the first ones to go when things go wrong. If things are just going perfectly fine, they're
Well,
probably
yeah, but if things are going perfectly fine, you don't need training wheels. You don't need a helmet. You only need the insurance when you actually get hurt, right? Like, but you need to have it. You need to always be wearing the seatbelt. So yeah, obviously we're talking about when things go wrong, because a union and that sort of stuff. A lot of the benefits that unions give are like seatbelts, right? You have to pay the dues, you have to wear the seatbelt, you have to deal with some of the bullshit, but when the going gets tough, you're protected.
I guess so. All I know is that my union does fuck all for me, and I'm just getting my ass handed to me with very little new benefits that I just won't see. And Can I get mad at that? Sure, I can get mad at that. Can I change it myself? Probably not. I'd have to do a whole campaign at this, at that, the next. And, you know, as a person that has their own life and things to do and things outside of work, probably not something that I'd just be able to do. And that's why unions exist in the first place. They advocate for you. But there should be unions for unions.
Like a union?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're still chortling balls.
Okay, so anyways, let's get back to our union busting propaganda. Unions never helped me.
And that means that objectively they won't help me either.
Yeah. But I'm the littlest guy of little guys. I think that's the thing.
Also, it sounds like you do work for a shitty union. I mean, all those downstate union, like that's for the Teamsters and all the no work contracts and the mob stuff. Sounds like your union's full of mob guys.
So that's the greatest thing about my union. We have a no strike clause, so we can't not work. We can't just show up one day.
Yeah, they really. My dad worked for a similar union. To the union.
So guess what? If we're mad about how our union's representing us, we can't even strike.
Well, the strike clause is not really for you to be upset at your union. It's for the union to be upset at the employer.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. If we're upset at our union, we can enact our own clause and just strike. We're like, our union's not fighting hard enough, or we're not getting the benefits we want from our employer, so we're gonna strike anyway. And then they say, oh well, the union didn't say you wanted them. Then it's on the union. But having a no strike clause, basically just takes away the whole power from the union. It's like the most powerful thing you can say is no. And if you take away that for you to say no, then...
Yeah, I agree. I think, so like I was going to say, my dad was in a union very similar to the union you're in. And his union got rid of their strike clause for I think like healthcare or something. That's why my dad's always like, I don't understand this. No, like free universal healthcare. Like our union fought for our healthcare, and it's like, yeah. So like now you can fight for something else, and we got rid of our strike clause for our healthcare. It's like, and that's a dumb idea. Like I agree. Like you shouldn't get rid of your strike clause. It's a very powerful. That's like the first thing that the employer wants you to get rid of, and it's like, yes, you'll get your way, but like I don't know. I feel like you're giving up a lot of power if you lose your strike.
Think about
that's
it.
The whole point of the union.
Rail keeps the entire country like alive and moving, and they have strike clauses.
Yeah,
they're able to strike.
and the only way that they got rid of their strike clause was because the federal government literally mandated that they had no strike clause.
They probably would have struck anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I guess there are some things that maybe you shouldn't have a strike clause, but they could go without us. Like my role, yeah, they could go without us for a little bit. Maybe educators, probably not, like primary school educators. University educators, I could see you striking. People that keep things moving smoothly, to where if you don't do it, it'll really fuck. Like garbage men should be able to strike. If the garbage men striked, it would be over. It would be over. Give it a week. But then they'd have so much work ahead of them when they get back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'd get what they want. That's the biggest thing. They'd get what they want.
Also, the garbage men, isn't that like that's the main, that's the mob.
The garbage men, the construction, the plumbers, the The big blue collar guys is all the mob shit. Yeah.
Waste management was
Yeah.
always the thing in The Sopranos.
Yeah. Waste management, transportation services, like trucking. That's another big union thing.
No, I'm talking about mob unions as opposed to just any union.
What was the guy's name? The one that was in the new mob movie that was on Netflix.
Oh, the Irishman? That was
The
the
Irishman.
Teamsters.
Yeah, Teamsters. Yeah, the Teamsters. Teamsters is a big mob
That was
union.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, Jimmy Hoffa. I wish I was under that guy's union.
Now talk about hustler. Talk about hustling.
Talk about we could only fire you if you've attacked a man on the job or were drinking on the job. Did you do any of that? No. All right, so technically, even if you stole it, they can't fire you for stealing. They can only fire you if you assaulted a man on the job or were driving drunk. So you're good to go. The charges won't stick. That was pretty fucking cool. Holy shit, what's going on? What's going on with the pod screen?
Man, we got a lot of dead air now. There we go.
Yeah, literally, we disappeared for a second.
A lot of dead air.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I
Did
was
I
gonna
follow
say,
this
is
shit?
that Lemus? How's it going, Lemus? What's
I haven't
Lemus
seen
saying?
that guy in a hot minute. I mean, basically, you take the power away. I mean, yeah, none of us are really happy with what the union is doing for us. If we just fucking striked, we'd be able to, negotiate for those benefits. But we can't strike. If we strike, that's grounds for termination. I'm like, oh, okay. We'll see them terminate all of us. Let's see them do that.
Union, yeah. Oh, that's right. That's what you said. A union for
Oh
the
shit!
union.
Limus hasn't been able to hear me. I was still muted on the streaming. Limus, I was saying how you caught us in our 2-hour break where I go pee and I put my overlay up. But we're glad to have you. I hope you're still here.
Very new to this
good to see ya.
podcasting thing.
We're still figuring it out. Webcam coming back up in just a second.
I'm trying to get this train to move in front of me, but this train won't move in front of me.
Yeah, this asshole's preoccupied by doing something else and not focusing on potting. That's his issue.
That's true. I'm trying to drive a train.
You're playing with your dick and balls. You're not doing
A tram,
anything.
for the record.
You're not actually doing anything.
I'm playing with my dick and balls. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? I'm playing with my dick and balls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear it. I hear it, buddy. We're working on there we go. Statistics. I fucking hate statistics.
All right, camera's coming back up. Hello, folks. Limus, you missed you missed the segment of the show where we talked about Elon Musk. We've had a couple of those over the past couple weeks. we would love to have you maybe on a future episode as our Elon Musk correspondent. But as of tonight, we're talking about unions, strikes, and Legend of Zelda.
We can go back to talking about Elon Musk. I mean, it's not like...
I don't know if there's anything new to talk about with him. I mean, it's just kind of the same old, you know? I mean, it was really cool when you, like, almost worked his way up into getting sued by a guy. And still, I mean, there's... No one said he couldn't get sued.
Why do I gotta suck a wet for it? I didn't do anything.
Why don't you go suck a wet strike? Or dry strike. So, Bobby, I've been meaning to ask, what is the update on Ocarina of Time? What thoughts are you having on it?
Yeah, so... Well, I think Lemus might like this conversation, because Lemus is a big Zelda fan.
Yeah. I might even turn
so
this into a weekly update. Who knows?
Yeah, because I'm trying to beat it. So I just beat the Forest Temple. And yeah, so I was telling you earlier, Travis. I think the Forest Temple. There's a couple of spots. I don't know. Does Lemus say that he's played Ocarina of Time? I'm not looking at any chat. So
I have never played a Zelda game in my life. LOL.
Wow. Okay. I thought Lemus was a big Zelda fan. Okay. Never mind. Wrong on that one, eh? Anyway, so then I guess I'll just talk to you, Travis. Then yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I got stuck in 2 spots. So like I said, I didn't realize that there was the chest in the first room, and that so that threw me for a loop. And then the other bit was the what was the other bit? Oh, I didn't shoot the paintings at first.
Right, you didn't realize that they're
I mean, I knew that they were there. I knew it, and I knew I had to attack them, but I didn't like get it quite right initially. I was like, oh, do I just have to? Maybe I don't have to, because I went to go and attack them, and it like kept disappearing. I'm like, oh, maybe I don't have to attack them, and then it took me a minute to be like, oh, I stand far enough back, but I can still shoot them with the fucking arrow. And that was after I was like, oh, I do need another key. Okay. So that took me a while.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, so I did that. So, but the rest of it was pretty easy. Oh, I did get a little stuck on the Phantom Ganon. Like, I didn't realize I kept using my shield to hit the blast. I didn't realize you had the sword fight the blast.
So
like volley it until I clicked on Navi, and Navi's like, counter it with an attack of your own. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a Zelda tradition, and so once you've played it once, you recognize when it's happening in other games.
It's just been a while since I played a Zelda game.
Yeah, and you know, not maybe spoiler alert, maybe not. It might not be the last time you do it in Ocarina of Time either, but it's one of my favorite boss fight tactics. Is you know, your opponent will shoot out like a beam, a ball, laser ball, testicles, whatever it might be, and then he throws it at you. You have to hit it with your sword, and it goes back and forth, and it keeps going faster and faster, and you have to hope that he breaks before you break, and that he doesn't hit it in time. I love those boss fights. They're my favorite.
Yeah, it just took me a minute to get that. Like I said, I needed Navi to help me, but other than that, it was pretty good. Like I said, I got lost in the Forest Temple, but it was such a good atmosphere that I loved it. And you know what? I really am starting to get... So, when I played Breath of the Wild, I had not played a Zelda game in a long time.
Yeah.
In years. Like, the Zelda game I had played prior to Breath of the Wild was Link Between Worlds. And I had not played a Zelda game since I played Link Between Worlds when Link Between Worlds came out. And I played... So, when was Link Between Worlds? That was
2013.
13.
Winter 2013. I very specifically
Winter
remember.
2013 is when I played Link Between Worlds. I did not get my Switch until the summer of 2017. So that's when I started. So probably, I would say winter of 2017. So 4 years I had not played a Zelda game.
So
wait. The Switch came out in 2017.
Yeah,
Which
March
came out in, like,
2017.
Oh, it came out in March
Shit.
2017. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a. I've got a little bit of fun trivia in my brain
Fucking
when it comes to
5
Zelda.
years. Holy shit.
So
6 years
I
now,
get because
yeah.
I got my Switch in the summer of 2017. I thought the Switch came out way before I got mine, but whatever. So I got Zelda in like I'll say winter of 2017. So it's 4 years since I had played a game. I'd forgotten like the dungeon mechanics. Like I'd forgotten the concept of dungeons, which is arguably like Zelda's like most fucking known feature. Like it's kind of dumb that I forgot. So that's why I was not as upset that the Breath of the Wild did not have the dungeons, because it was like I had kind of forgotten it. And now that I'm playing Ocarina of Time, I remember what I forgot, and it's like, oh yeah, you're right. Breath of the Wild does not have dungeons. It's completely different. And
Yeah.
the dungeon mechanic is really nice, and it's really bringing me back to like classic Zelda. It's like this, like Ocarina of Time feels like a Zelda game, whereas Breath of the Wild feels like something a bit different. And I can understand why people don't like Breath of the Wild and why people don't rate Breath of the Wild as S tier, because of how different and how not Zelda is.
I mean,
but I will say this. I will
yeah.
say, let me say in defense of Breath of the Wild as S tier, I think that Zelda, in terms of Nintendo games, Zelda is Nintendo's adult kind of RPG action game. And
I
Breath
get the
of the
sentiment.
Wild,
I don't think on the technical terms you're right, but I get the sentiment.
yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe not technically an RPG, but the point is, like, that's Nintendo's, like, Mario is completely different. Mario's the platformer, right? Like, Zelda is supposed to be the adult action game, or the mature action game, and so
Zelda's
Breath of the
for
Wild,
children.
Yeah, what
feels
the
like the
fuck ever,
most,
dude.
like, grown-up version of that. So that's why I think if you take it in context of just Nintendo and what Nintendo has to offer, that's why I think it's definitely deserving of S tier. But I can see why people, if you take it in context of Zelda, and like I like Zelda for what Zelda is, I can see why people don't like Breath of the Wild.
So, I don't think there's many people who actually don't like Breath of the Wild.
Oh no, I think people like, but would rate it lower than S tier.
I mean, even then,
There
like,
are people that don't like Breath of the Wild, that think it's too far of a strays too far.
So it's hard not to rate it S tier based solely on the merit of what it did and how it influenced games as of the past 6 years. I mean, you look at like Pokemon Legends Arceus, massive influence on that. You look at Elden Ring, it was a massive influence on that. And in fact, Miyazaki, who's kind of like the brainchild of the Dark Souls series, he said so much about the original Dark Souls that the whole thing was based off Zelda, and that it was his biggest inspiration. When does the new game come out? The new game comes out, I think it's May 18th. It's
So
I
get your sentiment.
Hold on. We got a chatter here. All right. I'm pretty sure it's May 19th. Friday, May 19th is when Tears of the Kingdom comes out. Pretty sure.
So I get your sentiment, but the thing is, like, here's the thing, like, yeah, that's why obviously I'll rate like the original Zelda as high as it is, and why I'm willing to go for, you know, Ocarina of Time as high as it is. Like, yes, obviously if you take into account like what it has like inspired and influenced, yes, it's deserving of that high. But like just in and of itself, on its face value, I can see why people would rate Breath of the Wild lower, because it is so much of a far string from Zelda.
So yeah, let's get back to the
And that's also, but that's also why I don't understand why people rate Phantom Hourglass is so low, because I feel like Phantom Hourglass is like Phantom Hourglass is a massive overworld. Like it's got several dungeons. It's like
it does.
I don't know.
It's a long game.
It's a long game. It's got a lot of dungeons. It's got a lot of cool mechanics. I don't know. I feel like I don't necessarily think it's S tier like Ocarina of Time
because it obviously hasn't inspired much. But I don't know. To a certain extent, I think Phantom Hourglass is as good as Ocarina of Time, and currently in my current experience with it.
It's a good game. It went pretty cool
Maybe that's
places
just
in
because I'm
terms of
playing
aesthetic.
Ocarina of Time on the 3DS, but
But here's my but to it is I think for people to recognize Phantom Hourglass as like a genuine competitor, there would have to be a remake. Because just the DS was too gimmicky, too archaic to.
But you can't remake it because there are too many gimmicks. Once again, Shaw, these are the best. These are the highest rated parts of our podcast.
Well, this is no. The highest rated part is when we get into something about Zelda, and then Shaw bullies us, and I try to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And then all the viewers, they see a little bit of themselves in me.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a real clippable moment right there. You guys are talking about Zelda. I mean, podcast co-host falls asleep while other co-hosts talk about Zelda.
I should have yelled at you.
I like to like wake the fuck up.
Listen here! You shut the fuck up! Alright, we're talking about our favorite video games. And you keep stepping in. Stop doing that! Stop doing that!
Stop it! Stop it! It's so disrespectful of Zelda!
If you're gonna act like a freaking child in here, why don't you go to the fucking daycare?
Leave Zelda alone! Remember that? Remember that? Fuck it, that's
Leave
a
Britney
deep
alone?
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would anyone just leave Zelda alone?
Here's how I'm gonna describe that. It was a part of a time. There was this Trump video, and no one's seen it. Like it has like one upload and like 2,000 views, and it has for years. And it's my favorite Trump clip because I'm a big Zelda Beatles fan. And he's going to like this thing in New York, and it was like a memorial for John Lennon. And so they interview him. They get like a 10-second interview. And this is like in 2000, right? So this is before he was president. And it's playing a song by another member of the Beatles, George Harrison, that I think they thought was a John Lennon song. It's something. And it has the guitar riff going in the background. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Well, the solo. And then they interviewed Trump, and he has no idea what to say. And he's like, wow, I love it. He was a part of a time. And he was a part of my life. Or he was a part of my time. And it's so awkward and weird. So whenever I think of stuff like the Britney thing, I think it was a part of a time. I killed it.
Anyway, they can never remake Phantom Hourglass because it was very DS specific. But I think it was good. I think it was. I see people. Now again, I did not play Wind Waker, so I can't. I know there are people that are upset. Well, but I say that because there are people that played Wind Waker and then got upset with Phantom Hourglass because it wasn't Wind Waker, and so I don't have that experience. So I never got into the thing where it's like I thought it was going to be this massive, huge, thing because I had only ever played, like I only knew it for what it was. But I still think it was great. It was so cool. It was so big. It was way bigger than Minish Cap. I mean, it was expansive. It was interesting. The characters were cool. The characters were fun. The combat was neat.
And I would say that the world building, the dungeons and the areas went in some pretty cool places. Like I remember there was like that whole pyramid area, and then you go to like the Nuki or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot all the different fucking zones and stuff.
Yeah.
So cool. And then also like, it was. The thing with Phantom Hourglass was like, and this is why I don't think they should remake it, because they really used the DS in like the most appropriate way to use the DS.
Well, the problem is like, and this transcends beyond just Zelda. A lot of these games are going to be lost to time if they don't figure out a way to remake them. They're gonna have to give something up or change the way it plays. But otherwise, no one's going to know about these games in like 20, 30 years. It'll be like I
don't know.
Like what was it? The NES robot, Rob? It's going to be like that.
Yeah, but people still know about Rob the Robot.
Yeah, but sort of.
I don't know, man. I think I don't think they'll fade because they haven't faded because people still love Zelda. I think it's hard to remake any of them, obviously, because they were so gimmicky, and I think that's not that is just a problem with Nintendo. Nintendo does a lot of gimmicks, because by and large, and it makes sense. I give them a pass because Nintendo is first and foremost a toy company.
Yeah.
They make toys. And Rob the Robot was a toy. And the point of Rob the Robot was to sell video games during the great video game crash of 1983 when nobody wanted to buy video games, but they would buy toys.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rob served its purpose. You were not supposed to enjoy the software that Rob came with as a video game. You were supposed to, as a piece of media, as a piece of art. You were supposed to enjoy it as a toy. So to say it's lost to time is to say the same thing as moon boots are lost to time, or the CNC is, well, the CNC is still around, but the CNC to a certain extent is lost to time, right?
Yeah.
Those are toys, or the recording, like the recording toys, those are lost to time. But it's not the same as saying like an album that was just on vinyl is lost to time, because that's a media that was supposed to be art.
But
I'm not saying that all video
yeah.
games are not art. I'm just saying that some video games, especially some Nintendo games, are not art. They were meant as toys.
Yeah, but you know what is going to last
Phantom
forever?
Hourglass was kind of toy-like, and it made it really great.
I'll tell you something that's not going to be lost to time, and that's the Sigma Mill grind set and the mindset associated with it.
There we go. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Quit playing the video games. Start hitting the gym. Quit being a loser. Start being a winner.
We need to set up a
pretty
panel
simple.
where we can like get in viewer submissions or something, or we could generate a list of questions, and we could have
Ask ChatGPT. I'll ask ChatGPT right now. Give me 10 questions to answer on a podcast.
Yeah, no, ask 10 questions that is for a Sigma male to answer.
About Zelda.
No, not about Zelda. We need Shaw to give us guidance, and we need to know what the Sigma male solution is to common life scenarios. All right.
I just want to keep talking about Zelda with Travis.
We're getting towards the end. I don't want to. I feel like I'm excluding Shaw too much here.
Wow, these are really good questions.
All right.
Okay.
Here,
As a Sigma
post
male-
them. Wait, post them in the Discord so I can ask you, and then you can give the answer.
Hold up, it's still generating. GPT-4
Okay.
is great.
Well, we'll take turns. All right. I'll ask a question, then Bobby, you ask a question, and we'll go back. And
Oh,
forth.
I cannot answer these questions. Oh my god, I'm a fake Sigma male.
You're gonna have to give me a minute. I'm still tramming.
Tramming.
This
That
guy's
was-
so
oh.
ba-
I
so
thought that was like
beta
when you're
male,
just taking a bunch of tramadol. I'm still tramming, bro.
beta male,
Dude,
blue-pilled
I'd be
fuck.
like, I'm still tramming, man.
Just tramming right now, bro.
I'm just trying to tram right now, bro. Oh man. Oh, you get one letter wrong in that, you get canceled.
Oh, we got our first auto-modded thing. I'm a fucking loser by Patrick43210. Are we gonna allow this, or are we gonna?
No, we're
deny
gonna allow that. Yeah, we're gonna allow that.
it? Nice. Good job, Breach Bandit.
Yeah. I heard there were hunks here. Yeah, there are hunks here. 100%. We're just a couple guys trying to enjoy our evening. So I mean, I sent the questions.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So here's what we'll do. We'll take turns. I'll go first. I almost called you Joe. I'll go first, Bobby, and then you ask the second question. So, here, let me do this so the lighting's better.
oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna great clip. All you gotta say is you just gotta clip it, make me say something stupid, and then guess what? Sigma male gets owned by blue pilled beta boy.
And I get to frame it however I want. All right.
You get to frame it literally how you could Fox News it to infinity.
So that's you're thinking of Link, my kind sir. So, hold on. We gotta get the aesthetic in the background for the TikTok, for the T-Talk. Oh, whoa, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on?
Getting some engagement in chat. Okay.
All right. Okay, so here's the first question for our friend, Sigma Male Scott. So
Yeah, go ahead.
let me do an introduction, folks. Tonight we have a really special guest, possibly the most special guest. His name is Sigma Male Scott, and he has come on our stream. He has come on our stream out of the kindness of his heart to answer some questions about how to be a Sigma male in your own life. So, first question we got for you tonight, Scott. As a Sigma male, how do you maintain a strong sense of independence and self-reliance in a society that often values extroversion and group dynamics? I can make this a better question. You want me to do that?
Sorry, I was muted. I didn't. Is this Legend of Twink? Allow. Okay. Well, simply as a Sigma male, I don't need you. I don't want you. I don't want to hear you. I'm fine by myself. As a Sigma male, I'm a lone wolf.
Okay. That's a fair answer. So you think extroversion is bad. It's a beta aspect, a beta character trait, as it were.
I don't answer dumb questions.
All right, fair enough. All right, Bobby, you got fuck you.
I can't read it, dude. I have a VR headset on.
This guy is such.
Oh, you just missed the stream.
A beta male.
Such
a beta male.
So,
dude, yeah, I can't interact with you as a person because I'm in my own virtual world driving a train.
Yeah, this is. I mean, we got like the most Sigma man.
What did I say?
And then we got the biggest fucking beta.
Yeah, and we have the biggest beta who can't interact with anybody because
I can't hear you guys. I can't hear your Sigma whining.
I can't hear you guys. I'm too busy riding the train.
I can't hear your Sigma whine set over me living my best life driving a virtual train through Vienna while my dick is being milked on the milking machine.
I want to be an Austrian man driving a tram in Vienna. Sorry. Okay.
See, this is the difference between you and me. You look at that video that Jordan Peterson posted, and you look at it with disgust. You look away. I look at it like that's a way to live.
That is the evolution of society.
Yeah, he's getting milked right now. That guy, he's getting milked right now, and he's getting milked to driving a train.
Okay. All right. Question number 2. So let me read it real quick.
And now he's gonna look at the GPT-4 chat.
And then after we finish up these questions here, we're gonna wrap up. I gotta go make dinner.
Ask me like 2 more questions, and then I'm out, bro.
Let me ask this. I'm gonna generate my own Sigma male question.
Okay.
So say you meet a girl, and you meet her through natural means, organic means, mind you.
Organic, yeah. That's
organic means.
Organic.
And it turns out that she loves the same habits you do, which in my instance just so happens to be playing The Legend of Zelda. And she says, I would love to play Legend of Zelda with you in our free time.
Okay.
And paying for it with the money that we earned. Is that a Sigma male thing to do?
To play Zelda with her.
Yeah, that's like our main like leisurely activity. We both enjoy it. And I made the money on my own to play it.
Well, if it's a leisurely activity, all people have leisurely activities. Playing video games really isn't one of them. But hey, sometimes you have to do things to bag the chick.
Kind of refining your position here after getting the call out.
You got.
So here's.
What am I making for dinner?
Is he taking a shit? What's going on here?
As soon as I said that's the future of society, my headset died, and now I'm trapped in virtual reality permanently.
Dude, this is like the opposite of the Sigma male, just like fooling himself into being a tram driver in Austria, and then just fucking after declaring how cool it is, it just dies on him, leaving him in the dark.
He's in an echo chamber, literally.
Help.
He's he got milked a little too much. Now he's stuck.
Wait, what's our question here? Yo, that guy is getting milked. Oh, what am I making for dinner? I have leftover Pizza Hut pan pizza. I'm gonna make that. It's almost 9 my time, so it's a bit of a late dinner, but I have my coffee. So okay, so we'll do 2 more
I like
questions.
how your late dinner is like literally like my lunch sometimes.
You have lunch at 9 p.m.?
Well, not that late. Sometimes it ends up being 8 or 9. Yeah.
Why would you eat a second meal at that point? Why not just say, well, that is my dinner?
Because it's still lunch. It's my second meal.
Interesting.
Well, my schedule sucks. I don't know if you've seen my schedule. I know Patrick here's seen my schedule. It sucks.
Who's this
Yeah.
Big Ben fellow? Welcome to the chat. Does that say Big Ben? Oh, Big...
Calls one lunch and
Big
one dinner.
Venus. Big Venus. Thanks for joining the chat. We appreciate having you here. All right?
Yeah.
Anyways, Big Ben, where are you located? The United Kingdom? Get it? That's the clock tower there. Thank you.
Yeah, that joke sucked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
I-
wait,
I
that
was-
was Big Venus this entire time. I thought that was all Patrick. Oh, I didn't even recognize that. We got multiple folks in chat tonight. Wow, what a night.
Yeah.
So
I guess
and then we got
this is
2
how you
folks
build
in the
engagement.
YouTube. This is engagement.
This isn't. I'm probably one of the folks in the YouTube, realistically.
Well, hey, welcome, Patrick. Well, when you first came in, I shut up Bobby for you. I told him to shut the fuck up so we could talk about when the next Zelda game's coming out. Because you asked, and you deserve an answer. So, listen, folks. Before we end the stream for the night, we got our Sigma Mill Scott here. We're asking him a couple questions. And I thought I would turn it over. That's right. And give you guys the chance to ask a question. Type something in chat. We can ask them. We can see how a situation in your life could be handled if you were a Sigma male. Or you could ask if you are a Sigma male.
Yeah.
In
Go ahead.
one of your daily habits. I don't know. Let's see. Let's get the game show music playing here. No, that's not it. We gotta
Nope, that's
rewind
the
on that
sex
one.
music. That's the sex music.
Okay, we're back. Why is that the question? Why is no? That's not much of a Sigma male question.
Why is Venus so special?
Anyone
Well,
got a
it's 'cause
question
he-
for a Sigma male here before we turn it over?
We need to turn this into a pity party. So now you turn that into a clip where it goes like, all right, let's ask all our viewers if there's any questions. All right, there's no questions.
Got nothing.
There's no
So,
questions. All right,
Uh,
good night.
I'm finally reading Discord now because I've finally been able to rip myself out of the
Yeah.
the dark world that was
out of
dead.
the milking chamber.
Dude,
yeah,
you sound
yeah.
like you're in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, where else am I gonna put the milking chamber?
Okay.
All right. What do I do if my cock is too
Yeah.
small?
Well. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on.
Well, okay. Well, here you go. Here, the milking chamber actually helps with that because you just increase the suction and it'll.
You ever
it'll
heard of jelking?
Yeah, you basically you
gel.
turn on the milk setting in the milking chamber.
Do that.
All right. So listen here. We got a question. We got a viewer submitted question. It's a big question.
Anyway, this ChatGPT 4 is so fucking cool. I can see why I got screwed up.
Bobby just has no respect for our guest here. So
Fucker.
How hard do I pull? Hard, buddy.
So I'm gonna change up this question a little bit. Is there something you can do if your cock is too small? And can you be a Sigma male if you do in fact have a small member?
You can, in fact, be a Sigma male if you have a small member. Because remember, being a
Interesting.
Sigma male is not based on your member size. It's based on how big your bank is, how big your personality is, how confident you are, and how muscular you are. Because to be a Sigma male, you gotta hit the gym. You gotta hit the gym. You gotta get big. If you're getting big and you're seeing improvement, you're being a Sigma male. You're doing good. You gotta get big in the gym. You gotta get big in the bank account. You gotta get not really big in the ego. You gotta get big in the confidence. Not like an alpha male having to show up and act like, ooh, I'm this, I'm that. You just be, you can be quiet. You could be in the corner. You could know what's going on.
So if I get big, what if my girlfriend's bigger?
Well, I'm just gonna step in and say that's all right. We live in a society now where that's a, however you want to live it, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
So I can still be a Sigma male if my girlfriend's penis is larger than mine.
Well, she could be a Sigma female too. So I mean, there's two sides to the coin there, folks. Am I right?
Yeah, but am I still a Sigma male if my girlfriend's dong is like twice the size of mine?
Well, there's no reason you can't. She could just be a Sigma female, Sigma male, Sigma female parent.
No, because then you'd be gay.
No, that's not gay.
But that's not gay because the penis is feminine.
I mean.
Well, it sounds more like you're the one with the feminine penis here, but
yeah,
that's not our.
Sounds like you're the
That's
woman.
not our.
You got me there.
All right, everyone, have a great night. Thank you for tuning into the Yolo Braintrust podcast.
Why are we turning it off here?
Play the music. Play the music.
But I had another question for you, man.
What?
Just shutting me up. Bobby just interjects in.
But I had another bloody question.
Oh, bloody hell! I'm tired of you imbeciles ruining my chance to learn how to become a bloody Sigma male. So tired of it.
Hypothetically, let's say for the sake of argument, there was another question. Hypothetically, would that question be possibly better than the ending that was already given by Shaw and your comeback? Hypothetically.
All right. Hypothetically, let's say we're about to end the stream. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I just want to do a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. We've got the Dreadfather 100, we've got the Patrick 43210, and we've got Big Venus with the 3ness. Yeah, it's a big deal. We're growing. Anyways, Scott, and Bobby, do you guys want to say anything before we pop off for the night?
We got one last question from Patrick here. Can you ask Bobby where to get the milk machine?
Alibaba.
All right.
Oh, I do have one thing to say, and that is while Patrick and Lemus and all these wonderful people are watching our stream, I just wanted to say that Travis's last name is Lieberman, and he lives at 1210 11th Avenue, Kearney, Nebraska 68845. Fucking
there you have it, folks. Big news. Scott coming in from Scarsville, as he pronounces it, in Arizona. You have anything you want to say before we go?
Famous last words. Yeah. I just want to say thank you everyone for.
That was my accident. I thought that was something else.
Famous last words.
Spit it out. I'm good. Tune in next week.
Where we what?
Tune in next week. We're talking about trucks and cucks. It'll be a great show.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching the show. We're big fans of all of our fans out there, and to play us out. Have a great night, everyone. All right. I wish there was a cool way I could do this where I just start turning everything off. Have a great night.